Well, hey, good morning. I wanted to talk to you about some of the products that I took to Kilimanjaro on the recent expedition that made my life very easy and very practical. And first of all, what I want to talk about is a new company that picked me up and sponsored me just before the Kilimanjaro project. They're called APEC, A-P-E-C, out of Vancouver, and their website is www.renewableenergynow.ca. They gave me some fantastic gear that made my life really simple. So let's take a look at this first. This, as you can tell, is a solar panel. Couple of things about this. It feels a little bit heavy. The main reason for that is it's got a very sizable battery inside. The important part. That's this bit here, a voltaic cell. So the solar panel can strap onto the back of your backpack. If you're in a vehicle, of course, it can be sitting close to a window in a vehicle and recharging. And the cool thing is that this provided ample power for me to recharge my camera batteries, my cell phone, even my laptop computer. Now there were smaller applications available, just this one panel as an example, obviously a lot lighter, but what I was finding is a lot of people weren't getting enough power from that to be able to recharge their equipment. The great thing that I loved about this, if it's on the back of your backpack, you have a habit of dropping your backpack and putting it down on the ground, and of course these solar panels get scuffed. The great thing is that as they heat up in the sun, that scuffing tends to just disappear as the plastic covering melts a little bit and goes flat. So it's a really cool piece of equipment and made my life totally easy. It comes with a fantastic selection of connectors to literally allow you to connect to virtually anything that you may be carrying with you. And so a very, very functional piece of equipment. There's my connection from my laptop and a variety of connectors to get me to other equipment basically and let anything get charged. GoPro cameras, iPhones, whatever it is. It's all doable. So very, very exciting piece of equipment. And in here you've got ample room for a netbook or a small laptop that you can carry if you're not taking a backpack and you just want to walk around with the case. Of course, complementing that is a series of connectors on the back and straps that allow you to literally strap it to almost anywhere as you go. Two other things that APEC were able to provide me with were both, again, clean energy, renewable energy products. This is just a simple torch that requires you to wind it up to generate the electricity, and once you've put enough power in there, you can simply turn that torch on. And it's a very, very functional piece of equipment. A little heavy for a mountaineering expedition, but fantastic value in actual fact and works extremely well. And then another piece of equipment along the same lines is a camping lantern. And so with this particular product, as you wind it up, you can turn it on and you've got a wonderful lantern to be able to read by in your tent or put on the picnic table outside. Very functional. One of the serendipities about this was that at night on Kilimanjaro near the summit, of course it was very cold, and as you get in your sleeping bag, if you haven't had a chance to warm up, you go to bed cold and you really rarely warm up. The great thing is I could actually take this into my sleeping bag, wind it up, and it would warm me up. It would just get some muscles moving and I would sleep fantastically through the night. So it's a real cool serendipity. Come on over here and take a look at some of this equipment. Icebreaker has to be one of my favorite companies. The clothes that they manufacture not only are earth friendly, they're a natural occurring fiber, they're made from merino wool. They're also extremely comfortable and they provide some tremendous benefits. They're great in hot climates, but they're equally as comfortable in cold climates. And so this kind of equipment has real dividends to take up to somewhere like Kilimanjaro. One of the great things is I don't have to take too much equipment, because with the Icebreaker product, with it being a natural fiber, it retains an ability to not have any odor after you've worn it for a long time. And there's some startling records about how long people have continually worn Icebreaker equipment, but it does mean that I can just take one piece of each equipment literally on a 5 or 6 day trip, which is fantastic. My beanie goes with me literally anywhere. It gets a little cooler and I love it. The socks, the Icebreaker socks, these I use for hiking. Two things I love about them: one, they're very comfortable. Second is I've actually yet broken a pair of socks, and I've worn them almost daily for training and for hiking, and I've yet to put a toenail through. Compare that to just buying a pair of socks from the local supermarket, and I can usually get through a pair of socks in a matter of weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. So really comfortable socks and very productive. The fabrics that they have, a t-shirt, I can literally go to Africa for a week or two with one t-shirt, and this is the 200 weight shirt. It's not the lightest fabric, but one of the serendipities for the shirt is it actually gives you UV protection as well, which is, again, in a sunny climate, it's very, very positive feature. The longer garments that I like to wear, the longer sleeve garments, this is just a lighter weight version on warmer days, and it can work very effectively if I go training or go for a run in the spring or the fall. That's something I might choose to wear. And then as we get closer to the top of somewhere like Kilimanjaro, the heavier layer, this is the 260 layer, and a complete long sleeve top, nice and warm, the ability to breathe beautifully, and is extremely comfortable. So Icebreaker I absolutely love, and of course it wouldn't be complete without some of their underwear, which again is, I never thought you would wear sheep's wool as underwear, but it really is absolutely fantastic, and it's a very, very fine fabric. So Icebreaker, thank you. One of the recent studies that you'll find on the internet if you look around is the fact that a lot of our coral reefs around the world get damaged by an abundance of synthetic fibers that are in the ocean, and kudos to Icebreaker using merino sheep and merino wool. We don't have to have that circumstance happen with their fabrics. One of their new pieces of equipment is this rainproof jacket. So it's merino wool on the inside and then a soft shell on the outside, and I used that on the climb, and it was absolutely fantastic to keep the moisture out. So it is a good blend of fabrics that works extremely well. So that's a couple of products from Icebreaker that absolutely work brilliantly for me on Kilimanjaro, and I would absolutely recommend that you get hold of some of those products and at least try them, and let Icebreaker know what you think about them. They're great products. So the last company I want to talk to you about, and interestingly, two of these brands, Icebreaker and these brands, Salomon, are available at Fresh Air Experience and Fresh Air Concept in Kelowna, who also are a very keen supporter of mine, which I'm extremely thankful for. That's what makes all of these adventures work and allow me to generate publicity for the charity. The last two items are from Salomon, and I was really excited that they offered me a great deal to be able to get some equipment for Kilimanjaro. This is one of the lightest weight down jackets you can get on the market at the moment, and not only is it lightweight, it packs into such a tiny space that you really don't want to be without it. It'll just collapse into a tiny little pocket that you can throw in a very convenient place on your backpack for when you get cool. There were definitely times on Kilimanjaro after a hard day's climbing where we'd been exerting a lot of energy and we got to an area where we could rest, but there was a strong wind, and this jacket was absolutely invaluable. I really would recommend checking out their line of down jackets, and this one, so good, so lightweight and so warm. It was fantastic. Finally, and I'm really excited about these because as you can see behind me, I've never actually updated my shoes too much. This is kind of the evolution of climbing shoes, and these two pairs I was using back in the early 1990s. In fact, I took these to the Himalayas, to a climb in the Himalayas. These are called, I can't even lift them. These are called Galibier Super Guides. They're so heavy, they're absolutely ridiculous. And part of the reason is they have a full shank so that I can put crampons on them and ice climb in them. They're a double boot, they're lined. They're really not that waterproof. You have to condition them with dubbing or something like that to keep them somewhat waterproof. But they did their job in the time, but they are so heavy. Alternatively, what you can go with, it doesn't allow you to strap crampons to it, but these lightweight winter boots from Salomon, these mountaineering boots, are absolutely stunning. They're so light, they're Gore-Tex fabric, and they are unbelievably comfortable. Testimony to that was I actually bought these 2 weeks before I went to Kilimanjaro. I had virtually no time to break them in, and I wore them on the mountain. I didn't get one blister, I didn't get sore feet. I could have carried on wearing them in my sleeping bag overnight. It wouldn't have bothered me. It was like I wasn't wearing shoes at all. So I would highly recommend looking at Salomon's latest line of Gore-Tex lightweight mountaineering shoes. They are absolutely fantastic, and I know a lot of people on the trip looked at them and said, those are really cool boots, where did you get them? So definitely take a look at these. You'll enjoy them for summer hiking. They're great for winter hiking, and if you had just a small pair of gaiters, doesn't matter whether you get into snow or whether you get into deep mud, they'll keep your feet nice and dry at the end of the day. And all of this equipment that I've shown you all lends to you having a pleasant experience. It's allowing you to stay warm, to stay comfortable, to stay dry, and that means you can enjoy the next trip that you do. I'd check out some of these for sure.